over 50 and very powerful?
I don't think it's a problem with men. You see, there's a policy in most companies where if there's a power disparity, you're not allowed to have any kind of romantic inclination. Because male-female power disparity, female-male power disparity, once that exists, you shouldn't allow it because someone will exploit. It's not a man problem, it's a human problem. Because there have been issues where women have also been predators. They exploit the power disparity. It's just that...
And exploits younger men to have sex with them?
Yes, it happens.
Because they are the managing director?
Yes, and say no and you'll be fired. What will you do?
The woman will fire you.
What can you do? Then you go and then claim sexual harassment and they laugh at you. You man, you are being sexually harassed. Didn't you even enjoy it? It's not fair to look at the whole issue.
Yeah.
This
is complicated. Can I ask you ladies to offer an opinion? I hope you are listening. So what Mikael is saying is that it's not a man-male issue. It's power issue. And women to do it. Do you know that? Have you heard that? Is it possible?
Oh yeah, I do hear such stories. I genuinely think it is possible. I mean, power is the power, not the personalities involved. I think that the moment there's a power issue involved, the moment there's a power struggle, people that are below the power would automatically want to submit. I think it's sometimes even unconscious because, you don't want to get fired. You want to be your boss's favorite. You obviously want to do well in your environment. So there's that subconsciousness.
But if the boss is asking for intimacy, is that simple?
Yeah, so I think that is subtle coercion because he's not probably putting a gun to your head, but then there's this idea that, if I don't do what he's saying, I might lose my job. If I don't do what he's saying, I might not.
If he tells you that you don't have to do the intimacy, I will still work with you, but if you do the intimacy, you get more, something funny like that. So you're not going to be harassed, but you're not going to get additional favors. Is that, do you hear that? Do young girls receive that? Yeah,
well, it's not always that I wouldn't work with you. It's just even the outlook of it. Because even if the person decides to still work with you, it's awkward, because there's still that subtle coercion. Like, there's still that, hey, you could have had this, but you don't have it anymore. So, of course...
the pressure doesn't stop?
The pressure doesn't
even
stop.
If he's a nice guy, he's not going to victimize you?
The pressure does not stop. It's that subtle coercion that is consciously and always unconsciously there. Sometimes even the moment you see the person, it's just, hey, there's that kind of, So
what about a man in a position of authority, the boss, and he says, so this intern is looking at me in a certain way. Do interns go out to get a boss that they like him, Definitely. they like something about him?
Definitely, I do believe those things happen. I do believe that there are instances where...
Anastasia doesn't agree with you.
Actually, I do, because there are instances where interns will also go in for bosses because then they think that because the person is in a place of power, then that means that more favors, as you said, more.
So when the intern does that, it's not for love. It's not about admiration. It's about power.
Well,
it's about I want to be secure my position.
We will not rule out admiration and love because that can happen in some instances. But then in other instances too, we have people in lesser places of power going after people in higher places of power because they want to get those additional favors and the outlook of it.
Listening to the story, do you think that Yvonne Nelson drew herself to Sarkodie? Do you think so?
Well, on the subject, I don't think Sarkodie at that time was in a place of power. But as she said...
Well, not power, but he was more popular. In 2010, I think he had already won, or he was about to win the VGMA, the Ghana... at that time it was MTN Music Awards. I think he had won quite a few. He had not won the Artist of the Year. I don't remember when he did win the Artist of the Year, but it was soon around that time. So yeah, Sarkodie was quite well known. Do you think that she talks about gravitating towards musicians, but she doesn't give the details. Do you think that she must have really gone after Sarkodie?
I think that would be unfair on our part to generalize.
Generalize and say that Yvonne Nelson did.
I can understand the gravitation.
No, but if you look at the trajectory of her narrative, I like musicians, so I generally gravitate towards them. Then I met Sarkodie. We became close, and very close. We were not dating. So if you put all that context together, does it suggest to you that she did? And if she did, she didn't do anything wrong. I'm not justifying that if she did, therefore you can do this and that. No. But could she have? Do girls do that? Would a 25-year-old girl, knowing that it's a 22-year-old man, would you do that, Anastasia?
Okay, so on a general context, I think that there's a possibility, but with this specific context, we cannot generalize and say that that is why Yvonne Nelson did what she did.
Well,
would you sort of get admiration for a man who is famous on campus, either he's SRC president or he's Kojo Entry's son?
Unfortunately,
or no, not you. I'll come to you. I'm on Anastasia now. Would you sort of fall in love or in like for such a person, even if he's 3 years younger? Would it matter to you that he's 3 years younger?
Personally, I don't think that is likely to happen, but even if it does, I don't think his position or his place of power will have a lot to do with why I made that decision.
But can you fall in love with a younger man? Both of you young, 25, 22, both are very young. Would you be able to fall in love with a younger man?
Yeah, I think that is possible.
3 years younger? Oh, okay.
For that.
Okay, the final one from you, Emmanuel. What were you going to say?
Yeah, unfortunately, if that's happened, young girls get attracted to people in power. It happens almost all the time. But it doesn't even have to be young girls. Just the idea of power somehow attracts women, So even on campus, some people are attracted to student leaders just because of, the fact that, he's a student leader and, he's all powerful. So the age...
Student leader means what? SRC president, block rep, or block rep is student leader, JCR president.
Anybody with title.
Anybody with a title.
Yeah.
So block C rep, Legon main hall. I'm in.
Yeah, in.
Okay.
Anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
But yeah,
I see.
I don't think that age would matter much to those people. But on this particular issue, I don't think that throwing herself at him would be the perfect way to say it. We can say she gravitated towards him.
She herself said that.
Yeah,
She herself said
she
that.
did say that, but throwing herself, I think that's a bit of a stretch. So yeah. That's my opinion.
Okay, thank you, Mikael. Finally.
On this issue, yes. So a friend of mine was telling me that she's also preparing to write something on student politicians at UG, because apparently we are also guilty.
Student politicians. What do you guys do?
I have no idea. We are innocent. I don't know what she said that we did.
Hey, is she going to have a title in the book called Abortion?
I don't know. But she does English literature, so apparently she's
Give me a
already
copy of the
writing
book. Let me
stories.
congratulate Yvonne Nelson
Of
for
course.
doing this. And I think, for whatever it is, I like the design of the book. I like if you look at the back of the book, the subtle appearance of something. You see, so when you first look at the photograph, you might think that, what kind of photograph is this? But if you look at it closely, you see that she's covered everywhere.
Yes.
That's the interesting thing about this photograph that I like so much about Yvonne's book. And I like the way she left her hair. The photograph, the back of the book, I think is excellent.
It's really,
and
really well
the
done.
title is fascinating. You will wonder, what's she saying? Why is she saying she's not Yvonne Nelson? And when you see that she has a paternal difficulty, then you understand what she's saying. So that she's put pen to paper and documented something. I think credit to her. And I keep saying that if all our politicians were doing that, we will have a lot to tell, a lot to read about. And I hope that she doesn't get legal suits that are debilitating and she has to come back and say, I have to correct this. It wasn't that. I really hope that doesn't happen. For those who she's mentioned, I'm not so sure why she picked some of those stories, because until you pointed out to me the victimization context in the Joel story, I didn't see it. The Sarkodie, I don't still see where the victimization is. You had something with a young man. He says, I'm not ready. You agreed with him that he's not ready. You were not ready as well. She actually suggests that she herself was not ready. Yeah, so if you are not ready, she's not ready. And he says that he's not punished you, he's not victimized you. I don't know. But she chooses this moment to talk about it. And I'm not sure how Sarkodie feels about it. But I've seen Sarkodie's wife post on social media to say that she's okay.
Of course.
She seems to suggest that she knew about it or something like that.
Okay.
That she knows about it. She said, my sack doesn't hide anything from me, something like that.
Yes.
So I think we're good. But good luck. Credence to her for writing this.